Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Demystify Selling with Microsoft. And I'm very excited for a repeat and very special guest, Darren Sharpe. Darren, welcome.
Rob, great to see you today.
Yeah, likewise. And maybe before we jump in, Darren, you could just give people a little bit about your background, where you land in Microsoft, and sort of your focus, and then we'll dive into today's topic.
Sure. Yeah, look, it's great to be back. So I'm Darren. I'm based in our enterprise partner solutions team in Microsoft in the UK. I'm responsible for Marketplace and the partners that are building these resale mechanisms with Microsoft Marketplace predominantly. But because of my Marketplace mantra, that stretches into channel partner, ISV, customer and internal worlds within Microsoft. So everything cloud marketplace, Rob, that lands on my desk if it's UK and EMEA focused.
Great. Well, and I will say that you publish a lot of content, and today's episode is really about an article you published that I think spans the entire planet when it comes to marketplace. So,
oh wow, okay, thank you.
No, I honestly I believe that this article you wrote back in March, early March, and I'll link to it in the chat or the comments, but it really is a framework that partners need to understand, whether you're an ISV, an SI, VAR, whatever it might be. If you're going to market with Microsoft, the article you wrote is just a masterclass. So that's what I want to dive into today, Darren.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, looking forward to it. Really appreciate your kind words. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and really, I want you, if you could, just start talking about the sort of shift that we're seeing in the market. Today, historically people would just one-to-one sales, but that's changing. And I'd love your take on sort of marketplace at the macro level and what partners should be thinking about.
Yeah, it's a great high level question. Thank you. So I would say, cloud marketplaces are very different to marketplaces, as now we know. It's not just about the discovery piece, as much as that's really important. It's how do we use the same platform to manage this private offer world, and they can be direct and they can also be partner led. So it's far from just being a last mile transaction engine. And Rob, that's the shift. It's helping partners understand that the Microsoft Marketplace is where we co-build, co-innovate, and co-sell. And when we bring all those pieces together and we engage earlier on, that's where we're driving the right outcome for the customer, the right outcome for the partner. And we're building this really super powerful tripartite selling mechanism. And I think that's the difference that maybe, I think many partners have now got it, and they're building these practices now, and they're creating these new co-selling relationships with Marketplace as the mechanism of delivery. There are still some partners that have got to capture that opportunity.
Yeah. And I think that it's worth noting that the way people are buying today is changing. And the marketplace is the sort of gateway or the front door for these new buyers that we're seeing. And I'd love your thoughts on that.
Yeah, again, it's really interesting when you look at changes of buying modalities, and we discussed this last time when we met, didn't we? That line of business buyer, that line of business decision maker that's probably going through 2/3 of their buying journey digitally, and that's without being ageist, Rob, that's a younger person than you and I in many cases. Maybe it's not. I don't want to cast aspersions.
You're spot on, my friend.
Okay, that's fine. We're in a similar camp there. I think if you look at, let's take the ISV lens. Yeah. Every software company is building in 3 pillars. They want a product-led growth journey, and that's that digital discovery piece. That's the find, try, test, deploy, get to proof of value. And hey, Microsoft Marketplace has lots of tools for, building and discovery and free trial, all that kind of good stuff. So the zero touch selling stuff is there. That's pillar 1. Pillar 2, seller led growth. And that's how do we help an ISV, a software company's sellers understand the Microsoft marketplace motions and the Microsoft stakeholder and how to bring Microsoft sales teams in on that journey and co-sell effectively. And thirdly, the biggest pillar, that ecosystem-led growth. That ecosystem is both product and partner, and that's the biggest opportunity because Microsoft Marketplace brings together that channel partner, that ISV, and the customer with Microsoft and the marketplace as that mechanism of delivering. And that's where, analysts like Omdia, call out specifically within Microsoft Marketplace a $300 billion opportunity. The majority of these private offers are going to be partner led. That's that's what's underlying all this, Rob. That's the direction that we're all heading in. And I will just say, think about today, the platform that is Marketplace, this platform for partnering. Imagine where we'll be in a few years' time where agents are managing this negotiation.
Right.
What's that platform for entry for agents to come and, create that contracting mechanism? It's going to be a cloud marketplace.
Yeah, right. It's the possibilities are just endless. I love it. So, well, what I'd like to do, Darren, is just shift a little bit and talk a little more tactically about marketplace. And in your article, you talked about the three transaction models. So maybe you could sort of, at least at a high level, touch on each of the three transaction models that are available today.
Yeah. Okay. So without going into too much detail, super high level, CSP private offers is there for those customers and partners that have a partner relationship for buying Azure. And it's a really simple way for ISVs and channel partners to get together and offer a reduced wholesale price to the partner. It's there for those SMB mid-market type customers that are buying from the channel. And hey, that's big channel business. So
Yeah.
engaging with CSP private offers to drive that scale mentality is a really good option. Now, multi-party private offers and resale enabled offers, they're the other two kind of direct build private offer opportunities. Multi-party private offer allows a partner to take a margin in a direct build Microsoft account from transacting the marketplace offer. That's only available US, UK, Canada. Resale enabled offers, however, that we launched at Ignite last year, and that's what's really been the catalyst for building channel and bringing together these tripartite relationships. As I say, that's globally available. That puts full control in the hands of the channel partner to build the full dimensions of the offer, manage both the revenue and the margin, and then have all that flexibility around services capability and all that kind of good stuff, finance management, how they then work with their ISV off marketplace. So they're the three key marketplace channel orientated mechanisms. And, which one to go for is based on your attitude to margin, how you deal with your customer, and where you are in the world. And there's lots of documents that will kind of guide you through to really simplify that. If my 1 minute spiel there didn't make any sense, Rob.
No, it's good. But one of the things I heard you say there, though, and I want to just call out, is that the marketplace isn't just for the large enterprise. It isn't just for one segment. It crosses every type of buyer, every type of organization, if I'm hearing you right.
You're absolutely right. I mean, yeah, there's a common misconception. We talk about in Microsoft our market leading position in the way we allow Microsoft Azure consumption commits to be decremented by 100% of the software spend value.
Yeah,
That is market leading, but that's only in the largest of enterprises.
right.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, everybody's buying software. Everybody wants faster time to value. The first time our customers touch any kind of AI solution is because they've bought a product with an AI component embedded, not because they've built it with Azure native tools. So look, the world is buying software, whether you are a one-man band operating your own company, whether you know it or not, you are buying some form of software
Right.
as a service, and you are operating in that agile and elastic way. So, yeah, the Microsoft Marketplace is the way to go and find those solutions that are adjacent to the things that you work in every day, like Teams, Dynamics, Office
Yeah.
365, all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, long-winded answer of saying software's everywhere. The marketplace is going to be everywhere as well.
I love that. And I think it's important to call out that this isn't just for the largest of large. This really
Absolutely
does
not.
all partners, yeah, exactly. All Microsoft partners need to be thinking about how to leverage marketplace. So
Yeah.
On that, sort of with that in mind, that what I felt like the core of your article covered this four-stage framework that you talked about there in sort of the foundation, enablement, execution, and scale. And I'd really love it if you could spend a few minutes and just give us some context around that four-stage framework, because it really, I think it gives partners a way to think about marketplace in a sort of strategic way.
Yeah, no, really, I really appreciate you calling that out, Rob. Thank you. And it's been a passion of mine that this is about how to help or how to learn from, first of all, and then how to help channel partners build a marketplace practice, because it's recognizing the fact that that can be a very different route to market from how they're transacting today. This is a new muscle memory. And when
Yeah.
we're trying to build new muscle memory, we need new behaviors, we need new roles and responsibilities, we need new trusts. So that's why this four-stage framework came about, and it came about from the work that I've done with the partners in the UK and EMEA. As much as it's four steps, there's probably, somewhere between 7 and 10 different actions within each of those four stages,
Yeah.
and they're how to build the trust, how to get started, what kind of roles and responsibilities should the partner be looking at to go on this journey to maximize marketplace. So I won't go through all of it now because it's a big presentation in itself, but I'd encourage people to go have a look. I will just say this: it's a journey, it's an adoption journey, and it's I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's how do you drive trust in this new route to market, and as much as not every company's going to get it, not every individual within a partner is going to understand how to maximize on this Microsoft Marketplace opportunity. So that's why starting to have some experts, some single sources of truth, and really building on that word trust. How do you make that happen and be deliberate and intentional? That's what the Channel Practice Builder framework is all about. How do we go on that journey?
Right. And to your point, it really is, it's a new muscle for a lot of partners. And you have to hang in there as you're building that muscle. It is some work.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very much so. And I'll make this comment as well. There's one piece within the foundation step that we call out around leadership engagement and a leadership owner.
Mhm.
And it's really interesting because if I was to take each of the steps of the framework and kind of red, amber, green them,
Yeah.
pull out those 35 stages across the four, it really does give me a partner maturity, helps me understand actually without taking into account any revenue or any private offer execution, how ready they are to build and deliver in marketplaces. If that partner loses some of those steps in just the foundational step, if they've had
Yeah.
leadership engagement and that and falls by the wayside, you know, you can see them drop down the rankings. You can see that trust, that senior stakeholder that's validating, this is a new but proven route to market that we need to deliver in. You can see that propensity to fall back. So it really does work, and it's very interesting to kind of measure yourself, I think, against those against those different elements.
Well, that is so interesting because as I was reading the article, it stood out to me that you put leadership alignment first in that framework. It was like right at the
Yep.
top. It's like
Yep.
bang, start
Yep.
here. And that
Yep.
really tells me that you do view that as the one or the core component that could derail every other step if you don't have that, or at least it makes every other step more difficult in achieving that sort of cadence or that muscle memory.
Yeah, look. I think the first time a partner runs a multi-party or a CSP or a resell enabled offer might be because a customer's come to the partner and said, "Hey, I just want to do this,"
Right.
and with a good operational person and somebody that knows Microsoft Partner Center, you can get that job done. But
Yeah.
actually, if we want to go and do this with intention and build a business, you're dead right. We're going to struggle. You as a partner are going to struggle if you don't have somebody at a leadership level that at least understands this and
Mhm.
maybe is the next step. Actually, I'm going to support this. I'm going to be the figurehead and the stakeholder of saying, yes, I believe this is the right thing to do for our company within these boundaries here. So yeah, just been through a lot of hair loss myself over the years, Rob. going through partners that are building this motion and knowing that actually having somebody on the senior leadership team that gets this is really important.
Yeah, I get you. I just get it in the gray hair. I've been fortunate to keep it.
Yeah, I'm beating you, my friend.
Oh, that's funny. Well, one other thing that stood out for me, Darren, was about the channel-led private offers consistently outperforming direct transactions. You talked about the fact that they're larger, they move faster, they deliver better outcomes. That maybe you could just take a minute or two and walk us through what you see in that.
Yeah, sure. And look, this is again, it's one of those common misconceptions, isn't it? That there is the channel's just an additional cost. Actually, channel
Mhm.
is an additional value.
Yeah,
Every hyperscaler started with direct private offers and then introduced the channel element. And actually, it's really interesting that channel will be leading those positions, and the majority will be channel led.
yeah,
It's no surprise to me though, because look at what the channel's done for years, Rob. Look at the trillions of dollars that flow through channel today, with
yeah.
perceptively, according to the analysts, 70% plus being channel led. We look at cybersecurity software, that's over 90% is led by the channel. And that's because, well, the channel partner is the trusted advisor. The channel partner is managing how those solutions interoperate and managing adoption and customer life cycles. They're removing all the friction and managing that customer intimacy that today a platform can't do. So when we bring together that power of platform and the power of customer relationship management with a partner, that's where things really change. And case in point, a partner I was on a marketplace journey with in the UK, and they were dealing with a big security player, and they had this security contract already off marketplace,
Mhm.
and they were looking at kind of tentatively potentially bringing this into the Microsoft Marketplace multi-party private offer process. And it was a bit of a challenge, but they chose to do that in the end. Now that contract doubled in length and actually became 3 times more profitable for the partner, but commercially better for the customer.
Nice.
And that's real case in point, because even the partner was surprised at that point. It's like, wow, we didn't, maybe our first approaches were only going to go for net new business through marketplaces. And
Right.
that might be a starting strategy, but they then had to find a way to report that back to their leadership to say, actually, we are being more impactful here by maybe looking at our existing business and seeing where we can drive better value through doing this through a cloud marketplace. So I think that's the value that channel brings. They are going to be, channel partners are going to manage those customer relationships, going to be tenacious, closer to the customer, and they're going to drive the right outcome from a holistic and agnostic way. And I'm really pleased to see this coming to life now, and so many channel partners making this work.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact that you called out, don't just think about this as net new logos and trying to reach people you could maybe thought you never could reach. Look at your own customer base. Can you leverage marketplace to make it more commercially viable and better for your customer, for yourself? And so I just love that framing, and I appreciate that, Darren.
No, that's
So
good. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. As we're coming to a close here, Darren, I've got one last question for you. And
Okay.
this is really for a partner that reads your article today and wants to act on it. What's the one move you would encourage them to start with? What's the one thing that you'd say, okay, do this before you do anything else?
It's a great call. And I would say just own getting started.
Yeah,
If you're getting started today, you know, find an owner or be the owner and go and be intentional about how you bring this to life. And then it's about being an agent of change. And that's not everybody's cup of tea, Rob, to use a
yeah,
very English phrase. You've got to be a special sort of person.
yeah.
And then you've got to build that team thereafter. So sorry, I kind of gave you step 2 there, didn't I? But
Oh, that's
own the
great.
change, be
Yeah.
deliberate and intentional about going first. And to use another cheesy phrase, this is a train that's leaving the station, isn't it?
I would suggest that this train has already left the station and it's picking up steam now.
I'd
So
agree. I'd agree. I'd agree.
yeah, no, and Darren, I just, for everyone listening, the article you wrote, again, I think I said at the beginning, it's a master class in how to
Bless
get
you.
started and to run a marketplace motion. So I'm going to
Thank you,
link
sir.
to it in the, oh, you're welcome. I'm going to link to it in the comments, and I'd encourage anyone and everyone to read it, print it out, share it with your team, get the starting, get that starting, get out of the blocks, if you will. And
I'd agree. I'd agree.
that is the thing I would recommend for everybody. And Darren, I want to thank you again for your time. I
Thank you so
such
much, Rob.
appreciate it and enjoy every time we talk. It makes me smile. So thank you.
Bless you. Thank you, sir. Great to see you today.
Yes.